Hello Internet, welcome back to our Magiclysm playthrough, the Druid. In the last episode we came down here and we started installing new solar panels into our vehicle. We're going to continue doing that, and we are going to pack up and head back to the lab in this episode, I imagine. And we also want to take this frame. I thought we put this on a foldable frame this time. That's okay, we'll just take the crane off of it and put it in our vehicle. Oh man, before we go, we should really find some cargo spaces because we do not have any cargo spaces. All we have are trunks. Was this cargo? No. Man, because we really, really need more storage. Because if we head back to our lab, we've already got this vehicle full of stuff. And when we leave the lab, we're going to need even more space. I don't suppose I can craft... No, cargo locks. Okay, and installing one requires just a flat out cargo space. You can't manufacture one. Can we... Is there a vehicle section here? Other vehicle holes? No. Cantilever? No. Fuel bunker? A bin for holding solid fuel. Interesting. Charcoal. I didn't know that. And you can mount a spare tire? That's cool. I didn't know you could do that either. But no, it doesn't look like we can manufacture any storage, unfortunately. So I think we'll just finish installing. Let's pull the seats out. Like, honestly, worst case scenario, we can remove the seats and we can put in more trunks, which is not optimal, but it is more storage. So we will remove the seat belts and the seats, which might actually give us frames. I'm not sure what it takes to make a seat. We'll remove the seatbelt and the seat up here as well for that little extra space. I really hate 2 tile wide vehicles. I prefer 3 tile wide vehicles. I'm sorry, it's 4, but I prefer 5 because then we get this extra middle spot between 2 seats usually, which I like to put. I mean, I've been putting the recharger there, but I like to put. It's just more space in a 3 wide instead of this 2 wide section. So. I suppose we should put trunks in it if we're not going to do anything else. Although that probably requires a welder. I don't know if we did bring the welder. We did bring the welder. We're going to peek to, let's get the battle rifle out just because. And we're going to head this way. Maybe there's a vehicle down here I missed that has cargo. Of course not. Oh, and we've probably already forgotten tiles of the town up here. Yeah, we definitely would have. Man, this bus over here I thought was a flatbed. When we were here originally, I thought it was a flatbed that had lots of storage. Oh, thank God. Okay. Phew. We're definitely going to harvest some cargo spaces before we head back. Feral runners, basic zombies. What's our encumbrance? 20. We'll machete them if we can to save a little bit of ammo. I should have picked up 5.56 ammo before I came back over here. Solder's just great. It's great to have solder. Come on, zombies. Come on, zombies. You're a child? Okay. I was just worried another shocker is going to, sneak up on us. So, got to keep my eyes open. Did we ever search these places? Doesn't look like it. Definitely could take some wheat and things. So, we'll do that as well. Okay, so this is the second time where I've said, oh, we're going to go back to the lab. But we're not actually probably going to make it back to the lab. In this episode, there's too much other stuff I would like to do, basic maintenance and taking care of things. We've been neglecting the surface, right? We spent so many episodes. Man, another jerry can. It never hurts to have more jerry cans. I spent, all this time in the lab, and we kind of neglected. I wasn't paying attention, and you got me. Thankfully, you're terrible at murdering me, so you're just dead. But where'd the other corpse go? Okay. Grab the long string. Yeah, I don't think we checked these houses, so I guess we'll do that now. Guy Fawkes mask. Pretty neat. I don't know that we're going to wear it, but it's pretty neat. We have the goggles, which give us a lot of protection on our face. And then we will probably be moving to chitin helmets and things in the near future. Deep fried chicken. Probably has rotted at this point, I would imagine. A lot of beverages, which we will take. Rhubarb. Seasoned salt. And lasagna. A lot of stuff in this kitchen. Very nice. What's the deep fried chicken looking like? One day It's weird that this wasn't generated already and wasn't like going bad. We're definitely going to eat some fried chicken. A lot of calories. We'll eat all of it. I don't care. We have all this meat as well, so it's like we have a lot of spoilable stuff right now. Rechargeable ultralight battery has some value, although I mostly don't use tools that use such small batteries anyway. Doesn't really come up very often. Clothes, none of which really interest me. Check the bathroom for goodies. Nothing. Okay. I mean, this house is pretty good. Had a lot of food in it. What is this? A little reading nook. Batter up. We'll take that as well. We're going to pull our vehicle over here to harvest those cargo spaces. We're not going to do it all while we're not going to carry, like 5 cargo spaces back there. Would be absurd. So yeah, sorry, we spent so much time in the lab. Now we kind of fell behind on like we still don't have a forge. We only just got our recharger up and going, and it's day 27, and I feel very behind. Turkey eggs. There must have been a turkey here. They last a week. I would imagine a turkey egg is pretty big. Yeah, 135 calories. Pretty good. Grab this double-aught shot, of course. And we will... is it even double-aught? See, where I'm from, I thought aught meant 0. But then people would say 30-06. I guess that makes sense. 30, 30, and then aught 6, 06. I don't know. Maybe I just sound like a dope. Who knows? Let's, first of all, harvest. Oh, they're not in great shape. We're going to take the ropes, of course. Man, okay, let's think about this. So we can put in 6 cargo spaces, but we're going to need to empty. We can just transfer them. Well, we can't haul in a vehicle. Whatever. Let's plop in the solar panels before we leave. So we'll do that right now. What's our inventory look like before I do this? Full. Okay, let's install the solar panels. So what do I have to talk about? I talked about... Okay, so I finished the Evan Delaney series, which I talked about in the last episode, which was ultimately, I would say, was a pretty good series of books. They're not super exceptional, but I thought that the quality of the writing was excellent. I think some of the characters are very, very interesting, very likable. I think that for the most part, they're very engaging books, and there are some exciting moments. My real problem comes with there aren't a lot of character development arcs. It seems like the characters were basically the same in book 1 as they were in book 5. It's a very unsatisfying ending, but ultimately I would recommend those books if you're into thrillers, right? So yeah, I can't hate on it too much. They were good. Then I read, what was I reading after that? I tried to read Erebus, which was like zombies, so like McMurdo, like think The Thing, but not, it just kind of devolved. It started out really interesting. It's people at like the North Pole or South Pole or whatever. I don't know where McMurdo is. You can Google it. Who cares? And I was super into it because I really like things that take place in cold weather environments. And then I realized that everything that the writer is saying is the most boring thing that has ever been uttered by human lips. So, for instance, we're only going to pull fully repaired cargo spaces if we can. Zombie spotted, not a concern. So for instance, it's just super robotic and super boring. Everything that is said in that book that I read was the most robotic and unnatural human dialogue that anyone has ever written. So, for instance, a guy is... so they're at, the North Pole or whatever, and they're riding snowmobiles, and apparently something bad happens. So they come back to base, and they're telling someone else about this terrible... how they almost died, right? And the guy is literally like, it was the scariest moment of my life. I'm still shaking. It's so horrible that this thing happened. It was really unpleasant. And and he's describing it in the most clinical, distant, cold way. even though he's saying like my heart is pounding, I'm so terrified, it's the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. But at the same time, he's like, God, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. He was like, I was coming down the hill. I turned my the steering to 90 degrees to the left and began to feel the car lift slightly. The skids lifted slightly in the air, and I began to panic, and it nearly toppled but didn't topple. And I was like, and my heart is still pounding, and I'm so scared. And it's like, you don't sound scared. You sound like someone reading a report about how someone was in an accident. Like, nobody talks that way. No one who's, very nearly died is going to say, I jerked the wheel 90 degrees to my left and then began to feel slight lift as the gravity underneath did not seem to pull me down to earth anymore. It just seemed to topple me to one side. Like, nobody talks that way. It just sounded absurd the whole time. I'm giving a bad explanation, but basically I started reading a book called Erebus, and it was probably the least human dialogue in any book I've ever read. So I stopped reading that because, God help me, I can't tolerate that. And now I'm reading, it's called Extracted. I don't know who wrote it off the top of my head. It's a trilogy. It seems really interesting so far. They basically, it's like it's a time travel book, which seems very interesting. I should have dropped some of this in the vehicle instead of bringing it back to base. We'll drop the jerry can just so we have enough space to work, and then we will eat. Man, I thought, did we eat the sweetbreads and everything already? We're thirsty. Drink the cranberry juice, and we will drink some clean water, and then we will go to bed. Yeah, sorry, that explanation got away from me. But basically, when I was reading it, all I could think is, like, this person doesn't sound like a person. They sound like a robot. You toss and turn, but we're tired. Okay. You just sounded robotic, didn't sound human, and it's like, especially when you're trying to convey an exciting experience, you need to use real emotional language. You cannot just assess a situation like clinically like that. And like all the people in that book were scientists, so you kind of think like, oh, well, scientists do kind of think in an analytical, clinical, sort of detached way. If you ever met, like they're technically minded. They're not really, they don't tend towards feelings and things. They tend towards facts and kind of a rational assessment of situations. But when you have someone literally saying like, my heart is pounding out of my chest, I feel so, like, there were no feeling words. It was like, my heart is pounding very hard. It was scary. You're not really conveying that this guy almost died flipping his snowmobile off a cliff in Antarctica. That should be a very exciting thing to convey to someone. And I read it and I was like, man, this sounds like a robot. And you think like, oh, they're just scientists. But every single character in that book was this same detached, boring. It was boring. It was miserable, and I hated it. So now I'm reading Extracted, which is a time travel book. And so far in the book, they have, well, I don't want to spoil it, but it seems really, really good. Like, there's, like, for one, it's funny. I'm noticing there are a lot of funny moments, and, like, a lot of books try to be funny, but they're not funny. They think they're funny, but they're not funny. And so it's really nice to kind of see one that has actually made me chuckle a couple times, and I don't often get that with books. So that was nice. And then the characters seem really engaging. There's a really strong female character that I really like so far. The male characters are both different and interesting. It focuses mainly on this little like trio of like, honestly, like super badasses basically is what they are. But like they're different. Each character is different, brings something to the table that is interesting and engaging. The dialogue, the banter between them is very satisfying, seems very real. As real as it can be for it's a time travel book. There is going to be nonsense, but for the most part, it seems really engaging, really enjoyable. And I'm really happy to be reading it. And it's a trilogy, so I get to look forward to 2 more books after this one. So really excited to do that. And then next, I will probably be listening to the Red Rising series, which I've heard extremely good things about, and I partially read at one point and was very engaged in the story, but then for some reason ended up not listening to it. So very excited to go back and try to read that book again, because I've heard like that it's like the best thing in the last couple years that people have read. So very excited for that. But let's stop talking about books. I know some of you, a lot of people don't read these days, don't read a lot, so I'm sure it's a little bothersome. How do we move everything? Comma? We're going to transfer everything up into these cargo spaces because we want to, so we'll go left to right because we want to remove these trunks and put in new cargo spaces. Now we're going to go upper left to upper right. And if we just look at the trunks here, you'll see these have 162 liter storage. These have 250. So it's 90 more liters. And we're additionally adding 3 that we didn't have before. So that's 750 liters we did not previously have. In fact, we will also most likely, we're never going to have so many batteries that we need to fill this trunk, right? I was going to say we should pull this out as well and put in a cargo space, but we're never going to have so many. I mean, we could use it as alternate storage in a pinch if we need. No, we're just going to leave it. Plenty here. What we do want to do is start funneling our batteries into this instead of leaving. Well, we do have that one ultralight. Instead of leaving them in these random cargo spaces, we should store them all in the battery container so we know where they are at all times if we ever need a battery. Trunk. No, trunk. Here. Leave that one. Take this one. Remove these. I know it's boring to watch vehicle work, and I know a lot of people don't read, so maybe this is not the best commentary. So what else is going on with me? Well, I had that meltdown. Not last episode, but the episode before and the episode before that one. A little bit of a meltdown. You know, sometimes I come home from work and I'm in a dark place. You know, it's hard when it's nighttime. It seems like nighttime is the worst. Why can I not install a cargo space? Cargo space. Oh, we're probably out of welder. Yep. So we want to, is that in our inventory? I don't think it is. It is not. So now we have to sift through these. Welding goggles. No. Weld. That's not how you spell weld. Makeshift welder. We will unload the welder. And we will drop the battery in the charger. And we will flip on the charger. Turn on recharger. And then we will drop some of our miscellaneous crap here. Don't want to drop the solar cells, so we will hang on to them. We really need to sort all of this stuff out of our vehicle at some point, and organize it, because unfortunately with looting the school, we ended up mixing our piles, which is now kind of, they're everywhere. Everything is everywhere. And that is not good. We should also reload our SIG so we can stop spending, wow, so many. It'd be nice to carry a backup magazine. Oh, we have a drum mag? Oh, it's so good. We don't have any more 5.56. We left it all back at base. Reload with the Remington is fine for now, and then we will try to find the pile with that drum magazine, because we will want to do that for the extra 20 some odd rounds that we would get out of that clip. Drum, Scar. Oh, Stanag drum. Yep. So we currently have 30 rounds, and if we use the drum mag, we'll have 50, and then we can carry an additional Stanag mag with us if we want to, although we don't have anything to put it in currently. Not really a concern. We should also repair our gear at some point. Man, there's so much little maintenance stuff that we have to do that is not fun to watch at all. That's okay. I mean, okay, so let's, that should be pretty well recharged at this point. Really? So we'll wait 5 minutes and it'll be charged. Really? Oh, they must have slowed down the recharger, because for a while there, in our last playthrough in the Apartment Rat series, we would put down the battery, walk away, and it would be charged immediately. So they must have redone that, which is fine. It was way too fast. So it's definitely a good change. But we're going to pick that up because I'd rather continue working right this second. Because honestly, I'm not super confident in my commentary today. Why? Reload the welder. Install the cargo space. yeah, not super confident in my commentary today. A little all over the place. Not the best explanation of books and things. I'm not particularly good at explaining stuff like that. Because like you try to avoid spoilers, so you can't really give great examples of things without ruining something. Are we seriously out of... No, we're out of cargo spaces. So let's pull another cargo space. And honestly, I would like to take some backup cargo spaces, but they are pretty large. We don't have... We dropped the hacksaw, I guess. Hacksaw. We'll pull these off. Yeah, reading a lot. You know, I churn through books, right? I drive all night for work, and I end up listening to books. So even though I listen to podcasts and other things, I end up listening to, like, 3-ish hours a book a night, if not more. So I tend to churn through books really fast. Cargo space, which is fine. There's nothing, wrong with that. It's just often hard to find good, engaging things. So I was really happy to find the Evan Delaney series because I really did 50 volume. I really don't want to carry 50 volume worth of stuff in here. I'd rather not use all that volume. So let's look for batteries, and we'll pull the batteries out and put them on the recharger. Disposable. Disposable actually is not rechargeable. Here we go. Heavy batteries, heavy battery, no disposables, and light batteries. So great. We will drop all of those. Drop and drop. And then we will also, while we're here, we will unload our amp goggles and unload our flashlight. And we will drop those for recharging. And then we will pick up... Yeah, we'll take the 2 high capacity ones because we do tend... It would be nice to have more so we don't have to reload them as frequently. Reload the flashlight, reload the amp goggles. So now we got that squared away. We really don't need to carry a backup battery like I was in some of the previous episodes. We will also unload... No, we will repair what we can repair, I think, because we have battery charge. Super glue, no. Controls, no. Seatbelt, no. None of that needs repaired. Let's look. Here we go. Well, we super glue. And we can't do that without sheet metal. Didn't we pick up sheet metal? We didn't because I left it back there. We'll go grab some sheet metal because I do kind of want to repair that front end of the car where we hit the chain link fence. Wait, we didn't hit the chain link fence in this. Was it already broken like that? Whatever. Let's grab some sheet metal. It never hurts to have some sheet metal and things in the vehicle for when you need to repair on the fly so you don't have to stop and harvest things from other vehicles. Very hungry, huh? I think we're out of meat at this point. Food seems like it's more of a pressing concern than I expected it to be. I don't know if it's just because we have that hungry mutation or if it's just because I'm bad at life. I don't know. Welder with a lot of charge to repair the engine. We are getting plus 347W into the vehicle. Just repair some other stuff till we run out of battery charge. Can we repair a wheel? Requires super glue or duct tape. That makes sense. It used to be a welder, which never really made sense. So we'll go ahead and repair. And we're out of charges. Okay, so we will unload the welder. I really would like another medium battery, so we, instead of waiting for this one to charge, we could just swap into another one. But for the time being, I think that is fine. Drop the solar cells, the sheet metal, really all this. We have raw pasta, we have some rhubarb, fat, pretzels. We'll just eat some junk food to take away our hunger, I think. Could eat some mustard, which is gross. Eat some pretzels, some potato chips, and some rhubarb. And we'll just pretend that because we ate rhubarb, it wasn't super unhealthy. So I think that's mostly what I wanted to do before we would head back to the lab. Welder, hacksaw. Yeah, I think that's good. That's mostly all I wanted to do. Obviously, again, still would like to have a forge, but that's not something we can really do. I mean, I guess it literally is something we could do. It would be really nice to have a forge. Let's look at forge. Oh, it's in a recipe book that we probably don't have on us. Probably back at the lab. So we will head back Before we head back, we will stop at our base and make sure that we didn't drop anything in there that we needed. I know we dropped the jerry can, but we may have also dropped other things over the last couple episodes while we were there. I would have forgotten my crane, which would have been bad. So let's real quick grab our crane, take off the crane. Pick up the crane, drop in vehicle. Great. Let's pop in, check our base here. Yeah, jerry can. We did have some extra meat, which is good. We will eat this before we move on. So that should help with our calories. We are at normal weight, which is not ideal. Again, I prefer to teeter towards overweight just because I know that that's a safe kind of place for us to be. Someone is coughing up a storm downstairs in my house. I hope they're okay. We should unload this because this has a non-disposable battery in it. Let's, what pile was that? This one. Let's see if we have anything else. Or is it just the... Why is it not displaying the MP3 player? Oh, there it is. Unload the MP3 player because it has a rechargeable battery in it. Anything else that we need to take with us? I don't know if we took... I mean, at this point, we kind of want to transfer everything to one base instead of constantly kind of being split between two bases. So I think we will grab... There's the heavy-duty flashlight also has a battery in it. Thread, silver we'll take. Actually, there's quite a lot here. We're going to drop most of this in our vehicle before we would head out. And again, we're not putting these into any particular piles. We're just... Actually, the batteries we are. We're just getting them into our vehicle, and we will sort all this stuff out later when we are in a position to do so. But there are a lot of batteries in here we really don't want to leave behind. And I don't know if we really have these tools, so we might as well grab them while we are here. Disposables, I really don't care at this point. High capacity, we definitely want. Gas mask cartridges we want to take. Copper wire we will take. Why are they in two separate piles? Charcoal I don't need. We'll take this. Bottles we don't need. Casters, we did pick up casters. Would be nice to carry. I don't know what books we have at the other base. We're going to take these. Take Thorazine, take the multivitamins. Cough syrup, medical gauze, weed, inhaler, calcium tabs, aspirin, antiseptic. Man, there's a lot of stuff here. I really didn't think we had this much stuff left. So unfortunately, this is not fun to watch, but I need to take this stuff with us so we can consolidate into one base. Just so much stuff. My goodness. Yeah, this is going to take... You know what? I'll tell you what. It's close enough that we could call the episode. So what we're going to do, I'm going to call the episode here. I will sort through that stuff and put it in our vehicle in between episodes so you don't have to watch me go through a menu saying, oh, we need that. Oh, we need that. Because that's boring as shit. So, for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I, of course, will be back with more Cataclysm every single day of the week. And I will see you in the next episode.